We have everything. But above the law, there's only one rule, which is the survival of the fittest. Because if you can say to me, why didn't you take your child to school? You take me to court, I will bring the lawyer, and then I can win the case. So basically, it depends on who you are. What can you do? So let us, with that short message, let us be strong. Let us survive. Let us adapt to the situation. Because the previous speaker spoke about when you enter in social group, you are entering at your own risk. Also, when we bring the children into this world as mothers, we are bringing them into risk. Look at what is happening, especially in the jungle. But some, they survive. Yes. Some they don't survive. So let us not cry, complain. Let us move forward. Thank you so much.
Round of applause for Dr. Ellen Nkosana. As I mentioned, today is a day of happiness. We are not only launching, but we are celebrating. Because when you celebrate, you're accepting that it is here, it has arrived. It can deplete as long as we do not judge. Again, can I see the right hand? Can I see the left hand? Can I see the right leg? Left leg? Stand up. Shake your waist. Get down. Come out. Sit down. Give yourself a round of applause. You know what they say? Too much work makes Jack down. So if we just keep it serious and there is no fun and entertainment, the brain gets bored, yeah? And in order to do great things, we need entertainment, and that is why I'm here. Yes. So I'm about to call the next speaker, Sasha Mudingwana. Sasha! I'll make a song for Sasha. We're ready for you. Yeah, boy. Sasha. Yeah,
boy. Good afternoon. This afternoon. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you.
Dr. Nkosana is not alone. I also didn't expect that I'm going to be making a speech. So the good thing is that if you are doing something and you are passionate about it, it will flow. Yes. My name is Sasha Mudingwana. I'm a director for Ambrose Strategic Solutions, and I'm also one of the founders for Women Empowerment and Advancement. So we don't only empower, but we empower and we advance women, also men to a certain degree. So I was listening to all the speeches, and I think I was one of the people who was making the loudest sound, if you ask those people, because I kept on saying, yeah, wow, yes, you know. So from my point of view, I will not repeat everything that has been said. I think transformation is very key in our society from where we come from. When we speak transformation, we are not just talking BEE. We are not just talking women empowerment. You know, when we speak about transformation, we're speaking about transformation of the mind.
Yes.
Transformation of where you come from.
Yes.
You know, transformation of gender. You know, we come from a society where they will say to you, this is not for women, yes. This is for men.
Yes.
You know, I come from a situation where I found myself, by God's grace, being in a boardroom full of white men. And I will be the only black woman. And that's how I voted for ANC all the while. Because all those years I said, if it was not for these people, some of us would not be sitting in these boardrooms. Some of us would not be having these opportunities. but that is a thing of the past. I'm not talking about the present now. So we run a few programs. And I think, Dr. Bosch, thank you so much for this opportunity. I hope I won't be long. If you have all the time in the world, I'll be here for plus minus 40 minutes, if that's okay, if you will allow me. Okay, so we run a few programs that are focused on transformation. So the theme I was given was words of wisdom. So the previous speaker spoke about the youth. The passion we have with the youth, it's simply because we are seeing them every single day. And I think we all don't want to raise a lost generation. We all do not want to raise a poverty-stricken generation. We don't want to raise a generation that does not understand the economy, the economics, and how they impact the economics. So we are speaking academy, we are speaking get your qualifications, be a teacher, be an engineer, but also be aware of your economy around you. Be aware also because when you are given this opportunity to say study and mentored to study and become something, we want you to be entrepreneurs at the end of the day. We want you to be able to stand for yourself and not be in a position where you will say, I'm looking for a job. Be employers and not employees. So those are some of the programs that we also run that I'm also very passionate about. So we say, from this stage where you are at, if you're holding money in your hand, you should know the value of that 1 rand, not that value of 2 rands or 5 rands that you are holding in your hand. And we go through training. We train students, we train entrepreneurs, we train final year students, even the employed. Because most of us, when we get employed, we've also been victims of that. You get a good salary, the first thing you think about is, let me enter card debt. The second thing you think about is, let me stay in Sandton. And at that time, you're actually going to pay rent that is far, far more. You'll probably be paying something like 10,000 a month or 6,000 a month, which is still a lot. Or like 40. And if you look at where you come from now, or where we all come from, because we all come and originate from the townships. But most of us, we run out of the townships, and like the previous speaker said, we have been empowering the economy. We are the ones who are making the economy. I think it was Daddy here who said something like that. You know, so let's get to a point where, words of wisdom, think beyond today. Think beyond where you are now. Continue to look at trends. Continue to see what is in the market. It's no more about just being a teacher now. This whole program of pushing engineering, it's because engineering was such a difficult field for anybody who is from a poor community to enter into. And my background is that I've also worked in Sasol. So I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about engineering and engineers. And also to the founders of this whole program. Also put it in a way that the students will also be mentored to be able to speak, to be able to sell themselves, to be able to understand marketing. It's not just about technical skill. You know, we said IT. We all said, oh, IT, I'm also in the background of, I have the background of IT. And people entered and did IT. After IT, this, I'm gonna have money and this, but they become so technical.
Yes.
You know, there is that big gap between them and business. So even when you are having it, have something that will bridge the gap between business and engineering. You know, because once they enter the office or the business, that they keep them away from that. They make them to sit and work in the plants, and unfortunately it's the truth, you know. And some who are favored will now find themselves learning strategic management, being in the offices, understanding that part, and excelling in it, and becoming CEOs and executives of those ones that are not getting the exposure. So it sort of puts you ahead of the pack. If you understand the fundamentals of business and how business relates to what you are doing. Because even when you will start a business, you will start a business knowing very well what is a balance sheet, or you know, you will get off understanding what is marketing. You will know that marketing involves 1, 2, 3, you know, all these other, there is a whole chain, that whole value chain of entrepreneurship. It's what will be embedded into you even when you are doing the course, for you to be able to become active in the economy. It's not just about you being under the car and servicing a car or doing a technical. We also want you to be an employer. Be an employer and understand, and don't be like a black people that we were talking about it the other day, to say there's black people that were business people, but when they died with the business. So the family can carry through with the business. There is no succession planning.
Absolutely.
You know, so once you understand those things, not only will you empower the community, but you will be in a position to also empower your family, to also empower your lineage. And the final point that I want to make is also about collaboration. Collaboration is not just meant for Dr. Bosch and the team, but it is also meant for every other person who is here. Understand those concepts of collaboration and unity, because once you understand that you are not an island, you have to collaborate. It will make you to not have the, what do they call them? Clubs. Am I right?
Blinkers.
Blinkers. Yeah, you will not have blinkers, you know, so you will be in a position to tap into different spaces. Dr. Bosch will tell you that I tap into different spaces, not just the space that I specialize in, but because of having that thing of collaboration, of unity, of all of that, you are able to tap into an opportunity that comes to your desk. You don't say, no, this one I cannot do, I'm waiting for something else. So even to you, Dr. Bosch and the team, collaboration, I think, is very key. Now, the borders, we are living in a society that is borderless in terms of technology.
Yes.
You know, you can, what I like about Dr. Bosch and what he says most of the time and what he preaches most of the time is that he continues, he does not wait for anybody. You know, he does not rely on anybody to give him something. He does it for himself. If he believes in that vision, he is going to run with that vision. If he gets a helper that will say to him, okay, no, I will help you, and they don't help him, he's not going to sleep.
Yes.
He will still move forward.
Yes.
He will still continue to knock on doors. So I leave you with that word to say, continue knocking on doors. And don't just knock on South African doors, knock on global doors. You'll be surprised. You know, there's so many organizations out there that they're looking on how to collaborate with South Africans. But as the saying goes, yeah, so you must make sure that you come out. Make sure that you also network beyond the South African borders. You'll be surprised of the opportunities that are there. I thank you.
Can you please give her a round of applause? Kopela lemelele. Kopela lemelele. Yeah, we plan to do exercise then again. Can I see a right hand up? Right leg tapping. Yes, let's tap it on the ground. We are right, yeah? Left hand. Then shake the bird. Hey, turn around. Turn around. One more time. Rosa. 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 Turn around. Epo. Clap your hands. Clap your hands. Clap your hands. And now this is how I want you to step. Yeah? You're gonna go 1, 2. Look that way. Lean to the back. And then mirror. And then mirror. Rosa. Okay, Rita, you can sit down. You know they say something to show your brain again. I'm going to move on to the next speaker, Julia Hassan, if you can join us. Metele Matoro. Ariel, let's go. Julia's not only here visiting, she's letting South African dance stars. Yes, sir. Are you ready? There we go. Rosa.
So, Mr. Bosch, I know him as Dad because I met him through Delta. He said, should I just add you on the list to talk? And I said, I don't have wisdom to share. And he said, are you sure? He was just standing there patiently. And I said, okay, just add me on the list in brackets. And then he just went away. He just knew I was going to go up. So I've always been in the background. I do websites, flyers, I'm a photographer. So standing here, talking, is a bit scary. But my heart is beating, I'm alive, which is good. Last time I spoke was at a Rotary Club in Sweden.
Wow.
So I'm from Sweden, Switzerland, similar. That was 2014, it's a long way back. So Dr. Bosch, talk about a bit about how you got here. Why did I go from the other side of this earth to this side? So when I was 22, I started my own company with a few friends in construction and architecture. I don't do any of that. I do marketing and branding. And when was this? 2016, we thought, hey, we have these architects in South Africa wanting to work with us, but how are we supposed to get there? We don't have any money. We don't know anyone there. Okay, let's just start. Let's write down the ideas. Let's do a business plan for fun. Let's do the budget. Send it in for this grant. Do a grant applications. There's so much money out there. They just want to give you money when you have ideas, great ideas.
Yes.
So we applied and we're like, let's see what happens. A month later, they approved it. We got the money. They approved the business plan and they said, let's go. Go, and then you tell us how it went.
Yes.
Because otherwise they will take the money back. And we didn't want that, right? So we came here, end of 2016, for a conference in construction. And I thought, I love this place. I can live here. I can work here. The people are great. The weather is great.
Yes.
Because in Sweden it's dark. It's winter right now. It's cold. And I don't know, everyone who was in the room earlier, if you heard me talking, I said, I'm not going back. I'm here. This
Yeah.
is my home.
Yes.
Sweden is also my home, but I feel I belong here better. And some people say, why did you move also? You have everything you need in Sweden. It's so great. The education is great and hospital is great. But then something's missing. Every place, every country has its difficulties and its you know, the most amazing stuff. You have both everywhere you go. And here, it's the people. It's the weather and the people. You have community, you have family, love. It's like people are alive here. Great ideas. And you share, you want to learn. So that's also one of the reasons I came. And I love music and dancing, as you can see. And one thing I feel is very important is you can learn so much from everyone you meet. No matter where they're from, no matter their age, no matter their religion, no matter their skin color, it doesn't matter. You can learn from everyone.
Absolutely.
And I'm here, I'm going to be here today. I've been here twice now, I think. Just listening because I'm inspired to hear everyone speaking. I'm going to be here. I'm a great one-on-one person. A great. To do this in front of a group of people always makes me nervous. But I'm going to be here. You can ask me any question you have. And I will see if I have more wisdom to share. Thank you, that's me.
Alimbethela matsogo ke na ka tsa maemo a tseba go bolela Sepedi sa borena ka rena ke mopedi ke a bolela ke ke tlo kgopela Monare Longwas. Did I say that? Longwas. Sepedi sa no chava no so. That's what happens when you can speak only 11 official languages. Warangana. Ke le for 1 minute. Esikubulala izulu mtantshwalela ngithi. Ngizomthethela ngisho.
Awusibulezi.
NesiXhosa bakhona abakuthetha la ekhaya. Bakhona. Uvuyile puto? Hayi, ngiyashisa la ngalivuthiwe. Vuthape. Yashisa. Sure. Khanyi mabaso. Okarjoina alimletheleng mogolokwane re tla boya go speaker se sengwe sa rena lona ke o tšea ka dance ekwa chabarebo ekwa ke rata o fiti o tlo re joina our step education program ele re tlo boela go Monareke and then o tla boya your last speaker afterwards. Thank you.
Dumelang bahanso.
Also that.
Yeah. No matter how hot it can get, a Mosotho man is not complete without his blanket.
Msuthu guy na Msuthu guy.
Yeah, and in keeping with the theme, words of wisdom, in Africa, ladies and gentlemen, we are spoiled for choice. We have had a lot of great leaders. I can mention, well, the founder of our own nation, Kim Moshweshwe I. We have had Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere. We have had Kenneth Kaunda, Nelson Mandela. The list is endless. And one thing about the last man that I mentioned, Nelson Mandela, is he valued education. Who can forget the words he said when he highlighted the value of education by saying it is through education that the daughter of a person can become a doctor. The son of a mine worker can become president of a great nation. Those were the words that highlighted the value of education. He was once asked, having achieved, how he got the wisdom to unite a nation that was so divided and lead it to what was then prosperity. Remember, yes, today we should be ashamed with the kind of nation we have. We failed that great man. There was a time when our currency was R5.79 to $1. Look at it today. So it means his successors failed him. He must be turning in his grave.
Yes.
He was once asked where he attained all that wisdom. Expectations were he could mention institutes of higher learning, probably prestigious ones, such as Massachusetts, Oxford, Cambridge, you name them. But you remember what his response was? At the Kroll in the Transkei, at the village, you remember the setup, the system of rulership they have of chieftainship. So those poor persons, forgive my usage of the word, while they were going about their business, be that deciding cases of disputes over land, livestock, family feuds, little did they have an idea. They never had an inkling that they were inadvertently holding a future world icon. So by that, the message I'm passing is, even in Soshanguve at Harbour Cars, we can produce an engineer the world can be proud of.
Absolutely.
So let us not take lightly, particularly the learners who have been granted the opportunity to go through the training programs here. Let's not take lightly the opportunity that we are given. Let's give it our best shot. And one speaker indicated here, and I'm fortunate that it is at this juncture that I've been invited to speak, because I can draw from the wisdom of my previous speakers. Yes. As we say in our language, ke tla lema ka kgomo tsa bona. They indicated that education to West Street. So even facilitators can learn a lot from the students. And collaboration was one of the words that was used. If I may cite this example, we know this footballing star who does magic with the ball, Lionel Messi. Do you think his coach was better than him? No ways. So a facilitator is someone who trains you to perform to your optimum. Okay. So let us not take lightly the opportunity that we have been granted. Forgive me for having not introduced myself, but the chairperson, thank you for introducing me to the listeners. I'm proud and I feel honored that I have your attention. Okay. So we can make Africa great. Dr. Piri indicated, Mr. Piri indicated, sorry.
No, doctor in the making.
In the making, yes, Dr. Puri, the
Still in the
doctor in the
oven.
making, yes, indicated that our knowledge has been abused.
Absolutely.
Our knowledge has been abused for the success of others. We have to turn that around. Africans with their indigenous knowledge have achieved a lot over the years. It was just not projected. How do you think the warriors of the olden era made the spears? Isn't that blacksmith trade? So we had great tradesmen. And when we grew up, we used to lie on animal skins. How did they get that knowledge to produce or even treat that skin to ensure that it's enduring? Something that is today done in factories outside of our continent, and we buy it at a high price. And we are proud that I'm putting on a particular brand, forgetting that our forefathers wore animal skins.
Absolutely.
So we can fuse the wisdom of old with the knowledge we gain, and Africa can be greater and be leading, because we want the continent to lead. We don't want to follow. And if we have to achieve that dream, the slogan here says, it starts with the dream. If we need to achieve that dream, we have to move at a quick pace. And collaboration will lead us there. because there is no one who knows everything. We learn from each other.